So Jackson, I saw that you we wanted to present the topic. Who could be the next flip? You know,
Ooh.
and that's something that I've been high on for this recruiting class. Probably the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about potential flips or guys that may commit elsewhere. Um, and this might be a late flip or early signing day flip where it's a guy that's verbally committed somewhere and signs with Bama. So, um, kind of some guys off top, man. I already talked about Albert Hill that's committed to USC. I think that's just a process. That's something that's going to be a consistent contact there. You have the ties there with Coach Mo and Coach Jones, Coach Kalen DeBoer, those connections there.
And we
So
care more about rivalries than USC does.
not not even just that. You're going to develop defensive backs, man. Coach Mo is literally showing that he can bring 17-year-old defensive backs to the SEC and produce a top five uh, efficiency stat secondary. For a majority part of the season, you're talking about three of your starting guys in the secondary produce top 10 grades as far as coverage scores throughout the first 7 weeks of the season last year. So I think this is going to be an attractive spot for any safety. You see Rael Kelly goes in there and we get that early commit from him. Pad the room if you can with secondary guys because you're going to lose a lot of guys again this season, to the draft. There's potential that you lose your top two safety duo in Bray Hubbard and Keon Sapp. So Everett Hill wouldn't be crazy to get a flip by him, a guy that I think is going to play safety at the next level. Has skill set to play anywhere, in the secondary. Um, I think we're, like I said before, I think we're kind of past the side Jackson. Another commit that I think, and maybe not an official commit, but I really do think Nick Abrams is going to be a Michigan commit. But his visit to Bama really opened his eyes to the flexibility that he has with his skill sets to be able to play inside linebacker and on the edge. To see guys like Duke Johnson, who's excelled at the edge in high school, come in and transition to the inside linebacker room, and it's progressing well. Same thing with Luke Metz, who played majority, kind of in a hybrid role, coming off the edge, but now is playing inside linebacker at Bama. I think it's a good thing for him to have that interest in Bama, but for Alabama to stay in the conversation, even though Michigan, to me, fits him more as far as an immediate impact. And shout out to all the AAA family pulling up. I see y'all. And shout out to James Green in the chat. Thank you for tapping in, man. He said, hey, Coach, roll, Todd, roll. What does the competition look like to, think, Ty or Keelan? We'll talk about it probably at the end. Appreciate you for tapping in, James, and appreciate you for dropping in. Make sure you drop that like on the screen, brother. Go ahead, Jackson. You have something?
Oh, I was just pointing at the chat, just kind of pulling my Salt Bob moment. But Mary J said, I shared your clip on my X page. Hey, Coach, appreciates that very much. I mean, like, I know you're a huge supporter of the Coach Smoot Network, and you're a huge supporter of the Alabama channel right here at the Voice of College Football Network. We appreciate your support, Mary J.
She's,
Thank you so
she's
much.
talking about a clip from the morning show. I had to pray for the Florida State fans, man. It got mixy over there. Kevin Hall tapping in, man. He said Alabama has no primetime live. What? What? Kevin Hall, you mad? He's mad. Can we handle that? Jesus.
Like,
People came in angry. We got it.
good grief, Kevin Hall.
Jesus. Hey, pray for him. But anyways, back to the conversation,
I
man.
think he needs a nap.
He needs a nap, a big nap, a good nap, a big nap. But more flips on the way, man. If I had to say it was a flip, I still like Alabama to continue the conversations with the wide receiver out of Spain Park, Alabama, in-state kid that's currently committed to Ole Miss, and that's the likes of Corey Barber. We saw basically, J.J. Finch was a commit to. I think he was leaning towards Purdue. I really do, and his conversation with Bama, knowing that interior defensive line position is going to be something that he can grow into, playing that defensive tackle position, being flexible to be able to play defensive end. You're talking this to the staff and you're getting value thrown at you. Corey Barber had one of those conversations with Jamarcus Shepard. And it's like you gotta listen when it's Alabama. This is a kid that grew up in the state. Yes, Lane Kiffin and his system can be attractive. It can be, one of those things that can seem as flashy, but you're talking about developing and going to the next level, Alabama gets you in the door just because you put that script A on your chest. Still does. Doesn't matter who's in the front office right now or at the helm as a coach. Right now, Alabama still believe one of the top talent gathering universities in when it comes to college football, and even making strides in basketball, and has always been a consistent in baseball. So it's no secret to be able to make your decision on commitment based off of pro development, and that's something that's important to a young guy like Corey Barber out of Spain Park. So those are just a few guys that I think are seriously we can get in their eyes and get commits. But guys that are undecided, I think, are leaning elsewhere. Anthony Davis, everybody's big on Tank. I think he's leaning elsewhere. Anthony Jones, I'm sorry, and then Anthony Davis also the inside linebacker. I think he's leaning elsewhere. Keeping conversations with both of those linebackers. This class we got to load up on linebackers. We're going to lose a lot of guys. Majority inside linebackers to the draft. The edge guys, you're going to lose maybe one or two to portal just for pure time to transition because you're in your third or fourth year. So it's a lot to look at when it comes to potential flips. You're going to see some guys verbally commit elsewhere, but Alabama will be in contact with guys like that. Who else? And I'm looking at leans. I look at
There is one guy that's at Georgia Tech that was visiting Alabama.
Jaden Terry.
Yep.
I was talking about him yesterday with one of my training development guys up in Northeast Georgia. The thing is right now, man, a guy like Jason Terry, you're talking about a prospect 6'3", 175, is not about his size or anything. Is do you really want him as a safety or corner? And not many programs can give you the flexibility like Kane Wommack's system. So to go after Jaden Terry, you're going to see guys like Zay Mincy get opportunities because you want to be able to pitch to him, hey, we recruited Zay Mincy as a corner. He took a year to develop at both positions, provided quality depth, actually was on the field and provided impactful support minutes, rotational minutes for us throughout the second half of the season. And look at what he is now. You know, Zay Mincy could come out of this year, you know, getting late third, fourth round draft picks, playing rotational type reps and be a steady starter for 2 years and not a rotational guy and be a top round draft pick because of this system. So, and it's not a waste of time to stay in college now. NIL makes sense. You got quarterbacks that know they're not going first round, staying around in college for an extra year, transferring to stay around for an extra year to collect $8 million.
Oh, there we go. Oh, he's no. This is my house now. That's what he's telling them.
So shout out to Jaden Terry. I don't know. I think Georgia Tech has something there for him package wise. Being able to be a nickel guy, one high guy. I think that's what is attractive to him with Georgia Tech. But Alabama is like any spot. You get to go out on the field and play with 4 other dogs that could do the same thing you do, you know, to a certain extent, and really just thrive in doing your job. That's what you get at Alabama. So those are the more realistic flips for me, man. I don't think. Oh yeah, and Kamari Brooks. With Kamari Brooks being officially committed to Georgia.
Oh, yeah, he's a Bulldog now.
Yes, I really think that this intensifies Alabama's push to really load and pad this linebacker room across the board. You're talking about Xavier Griffin in this class. Jamarian Matthews is kind of more so a defensive tackle development, but he plays some edge defensive end. Who else in this class, linebacker wise? I think we're going to get linebackers. I already talked about Nick Abrams. Let me go down my list. Jesus, I had another one. The other two that I think that Alabama, regardless of commitment, Anthony Tank Jones, I think he's more sort of a Alabama lean now. I don't think he's committed to Auburn anymore. I think he's Alabama lean, might commit to Alabama, might do some flipping and flopping there because they're both programs are pulling equally, and he fits either system, right? But you talking about Zahar, we're going to get that commitment from him. That's another underrated guy, not even getting star ratings right now from your major sites. Out of Tuscaloosa, a hometown kid. He's going to be a diamond in the rough, kind of like when we found QB Reese and Justin Jefferson out of the portal, right? So I'm excited about a couple of these guys. Definitely want to pat that linebacker room. And like I said, I think Maycock had a great visit. The linebacker that's committed to Florida State, I think he had a great visit, but I think he's locked in to Florida State. And but Kamari Brooks, that's one that I know the staff is going to, you know, they're going to keep stay in the ring and actually fight for that one. They're going to fight for that one.
That would be cool if he commits to Alabama on the 12 days of Christmas. That would be a sweet way to celebrate the Christmas season.
100%, man. 100%.
Oof. Just kind of tell Georgia, oh, I'm committing you in the summer. And it's like, man, this summer heat was getting me. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm going to go to Bama. I don't want to play in Athens. I want to go to Tuscaloosa.
Hey, the thing is, man, with him, is going to be, and let's be real, you're talking about a young man that right now 6'4", 225, playing off the edge, probably going to get up to 230, 245. First year on campus in either one of those strength and conditioning programs at Alabama or Georgia. He's going to have opportunity to be an impact player. He's only going to be on campus for 3 years. I don't care where he goes.
Yeah.
He's that type of talent. So Alabama's going to try to get that. Freddie Roach has the track record of getting guys there. Same thing with Georgia. Kirby Smart and everything he does schematically for defensive linemen, they really transcend to the NFL very well.
Yeah, Freddie Roach, I'm loving what he's doing at the Alabama staff. He's been doing a tremendous job. And
100%.
and I mentioned on yesterday's video when I did my reaction video here on Alabama The Voice College Football to Kelly flipping to Alabama, where I said I don't ever want to see Kane Womack leave Bama, but if he left Bama, we'd be in a good position because we'd be having Coach Mo be the next defensive coordinator. It would be similar to when Chip Kelly left Ohio State, and then
Yep.
you got Brian Hartline taking over as the next OC. So you got perfect move right there in Tuscaloosa.
Facts. 100%. 100%, man. That was
Oh,
a good.
man.
That was a good kind of like a analogy with those two coaches. I think Hartline going to Ohio State is what saved that season.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I really do. But I think we see the same type of feel around Alabama.